Hello and welcome to the UK Surf Show. We are your hosts. I'm Pete.
And I'm Mitch, and on today's episode we're back to Cornwall and we have Newquay Women's Surf Club on the show, which was a lot.
We had Joey, Louisa, Pip, Claire, Ferry came in, Ziggy Dog and Bruce Dog and Mitch and Pete.
Yeah, it was a
It
very
was a full
room.
house.
We should say up front, there were no squeaky chairs. And
yeah, no such thing as a squeaky chair.
No, and we did have some issues with the audio on here. And when I say we, I mean Pete. Obviously,
and we did have some issue with the cameras. And when I say we, I mean Mitch.
Well, I think we're even. So we'll apologise up front. The audio is a bit crap for the first 10 minutes or so, or whatever Pete decides it's going to be.
14 minutes.
14 minutes. And then it goes back into normal audio.
But it's the intros and everything like that. So it's a long episode anyway. So we'll just get into it and we'll come back afterwards, all right?
Boom, let's do it.
Let's go.
Like Halloween.
Yeah, dead cockroach.
What's the dead cockroach?
You lie on a board with your legs in there, going like this.
Okay.
That really did sound like
Oh no, that was my chair party.
that really was.
That's what happens when you do the cockroach for too long.
Absolutely.
It's like that Family Guy sketch when they fart on all the toilets and they make a song out of it.
That's too funny. There's too many jokes.
Oh, you need to introduce Bruce.
Yeah.
Hello, Bruce.
Bruce, surely he's featured on lots now.
Oh,
They do look the same with them.
Bruce. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I get
He's
it
definitely
now.
like, look, you bunch of idiots. What are you doing?
He's like,
What's the hell is going on?
I owe a drink.
Right.
Yeah.
Who's going to take it away and tell us who this crazy group is in our living room of our flat in South Fistral?
I think I'll have to.
Do it.
Go, Joey.
Hello, my name's Joey Newman and I am the current Secretary and Co-Chair of Newquay Women's Surf Club.
And it's after 5 o'clock. What does that mean?
It means that I've secreted a tin of cider
In a bag.
I can show it is in a
In a
surf-related
fridge.
wetsuit. I've got to be careful when I move here because the chair makes so many noises.
It
It's keeping it cool.
Okay.
And then
Joey,
next.
keeping it cool. My name is Louisa Fernley, and I am a member of Newquay Women's Surf Club, and have been for just over 5 years.
Okay. Next.
I'm Pip and I'm new to Newquay Women's Surf Club. Started just after the June sort of social
Open day?
yeah, that's right. Thanks. But yeah, I've loved it. I'm loving it. It's great fun. Great bunch of women.
I'm Claire. I'm a committee member. Kind of head up the fundraising.
Okay.
And I've been a member of the club for a couple of years.
Okay. It's really funny because everything's got really serious all of
I
a
know.
sudden. That definitely wasn't the case up to a few minutes ago. So who wants to tell us a little bit about the club, kind of what it is, what it's all about, and how you kind of landed on the club? I mean, don't all jump at once though. You go.
Like you did, Pip. I discovered the club through one of their open days, same as you, a few years ago. So annually, we usually hold an open day. Hold a free surf lesson and gives everybody a chance to come along, meet us. And yeah, I came along, met a great bunch of women, got in the sea and thought, this is where I want to be. So started regularly attending and doing exactly like you really.
Yeah.
And then got roped into the committee side of it as well, because they do that, they lure you in.
Yeah.
And then before you know it, you're sort of fired up and passionate. And you're like, oh, I've got to make this work, I've got to be part of it more and more now.
You were overzealous and they saw
Yes,
it, they picked up on it. So
absolutely.
come in like not too keen.
Yeah,
is
well,
what you're
that's what
saying.
I had key written
Yeah.
across my head, didn't I?
Yeah, and you kept saying yes, and so we keep making you do stuff. Asking you.
Asking.
Hence why I'm here.
In exact numbers, how many members do you have at the moment?
Exact numbers.
What I do?
Yeah. I know you said before, but like roughly how many members is it around you've got at the moment?
Yeah, so it is a female club currently, although the committee is talking about other areas of life that may be involved in the club shortly. But we've got roughly, I'm going to say 140 women and about 35, 40 little ladies.
Okay.
And how many sessions a week, or how often the sessions run?
So it does depend on the time of year. If it's summer, there will be 2 club sessions per week, normally a Wednesday and a Friday, and I'm looking for confirmation unless that's changed.
Yeah, we do evening sunset surf, isn't it, during the summer?
Yeah.
So the little ladies, very much like this evening, will go out before the women. They'll come in, and then the women will go out as well after that.
And the little ladies were frothing to get down there before. I mean, it is wild out there. Let's not be about it. It is mental.
It
out there.
is. We walked down and went, surely they're not going out in this.
Are they the only ones out there?
Yeah, pretty much. And some
They're
mental
amazing.
kite surfer type thing. But we're nuclear.
But I sort of take it on every session there's not 170 plus people turning up.
Like on a Wednesday, there's been about probably low 20s, I'd say. Sometimes it's sort of 10. That would probably be the lowest.
Yeah, 10 to 20.
Yeah, it's
A
been.
session.
And what is there a maximum you can? Do you have to book onto a session, or is there
Yeah.
like a maximum?
Yeah, so once you become a member, and it's £25 a year for anybody who wants to join up. Bargain.
Yeah, sorry, bargain.
You can't get a round of drinks.
Let's see what you get for the £25 first.
You
and
might-
We'll tell you.
It's a bargain.
Yeah. So, t-shirt.
That's
Hence the-
already bargain, isn't there?
Exactly, 25 quid.
That's it.
Imagine how much a pair of jogging bottoms would cost you these days if we did those as well.
Yeah.
We can't talk about that.
Let's move along then. We're not supposed to flip it back and stitch me up.
Okay, I'm not in full receipt.
I'm with you if you want to flip it on.
No, that's fine. So we can just talk about your farting and C-bombs. And
I'm happy.
The
I will go.
cider bomb.
Ciders. Oh, yeah.
Cider bomb.
So £25. That will then allow you to come to club sessions, which you book onto, and that will provide you with £8 fee for each of those sessions. Qualified coaches and lifeguards. When you say about how many people are coming to sessions, that is capped because of the ratio, safety-wise. So I think little ladies might be 1 to 6, and I think women is 1 to 8.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's all in the policies. You can look at those at your leisure.
Yeah. And cool.
So how long has it been going, and what was kind of the inspiration to get it going as well?
Yeah. Ferry? Oh, Ferry, she's not here. Oh, yeah,
there's somebody missing from a chair.
There is
watching.
an empty chair.
For now.
For now, she'll be here.
So
Then
you guys-
you can
Tidying
re-ask
up the
that
women's
question.
No, you guys just have to pick it up.
I can't remember exactly when it was formed.
I thought it
but
was
I
14
know
years ago.
You think it's 14?
it's been a while.
Let's guess, and then Ferry can tell us.
What time?
And who had the initial idea?
I'm going
Rosa.
with, it was a northwesterly wind. It was a Monday evening.
It's a story, even.
I know that it was very much about them wanting to create a space in the sea for women and creating a community. It was very much about bringing women together and creating a community to build confidence.
So if that was over a decade ago, I mean, I guess sort of women's surf groups, it's not that it's a new thing, but I guess there's been a bit of a bloom in the last, 4 or 5 years maybe?
Yeah.
So that seems like, was that maybe one of the first or around this area?
Yeah, that's why I said. That's why I said there are other women. I mean, there are other women's surf club groups, I'm sure. But yeah, that's why, because I was like, Newquay Women's Surf Club was the first one I ever came across or heard about.
Yeah.
I think some of the difference that this club has, perhaps to others, I may not know all their details, but it's a community interest club, so it's not for profit.
Yeah.
Right.
Now, originally it was started as a club, like you said, let's just get further engagement from girls, particularly from youth,
Yeah.
you know, from like 7 years old up to 17, and then they can come into the women's. And keep it at a level of expense that doesn't prohibit people coming along. Cornwall, you know, as much as we love to have nice holiday homes and things like this,
Go on, go in on that.
I'm really sorry, Sarah. I was change the scene. As we're sat here.
it's really,
You guys are the problem.
yeah. So Cornwall does have quite a big poverty problem, which on the face of it doesn't appear to be that way, but you know, there's some people really, really hard up.
It used to be the lowest social economic out of Europe, so it got a Europe, but I don't know if that's still the case.
Yeah.
Used to get a lot of European funding because of that.
Yeah.
Wow.
There is still a lot of poverty, and I think for sure one of their driving factors was definitely accessibility. You know, to find out, and this is why Little Ladies has been something that they've been really passionate about, to find out that there are children that can live this close to the sea and never been in the sea, never been to the beach, and that just sounds crazy. You can't imagine, you know, you just presume if you live by the sea you're getting in there. So there are children, particularly young girls, that don't have the equipment, they don't have the financial means to even get to the beach if they don't live next to it. So I know that it's been a real big thing to make sure that young girls in particular can keep getting in the water.
I think it's an interesting thing about, I used to say this when I was in the army, you know, I'd get posted from place to place to place, and I'd move away and I'd be like, that place is amazing, why did I not explore it? And I always think you don't often appreciate where you live. So I can almost, it seems mad that somebody living here not getting in the water and experiencing that, not going to the beach, but I can also get that from life experience that you just don't often, you just kind of live there and that's it, you know?
On the flip side of that as well, we also say that it's mad how we are an island surrounded by water, and we, you know, not everyone at school is taught how to swim, how to get in the sea.
That is
absolutely.
And that's, you know, so what is the advantages? What happens at one of your sessions from the Little Ladies to the actual women's group, and what's the difference? What goes on, and what do each of you get out of it?
Before 5 o'clock though, for clarity.
You know what? Open and honest I am. One-sided. That's happened to me.
You shouldn't have torpedoed it when you came in.
Oh, no, absolutely. We had to go and sit in the hotel at the wind. Nobody said, "Shall we have a drink?" And I was thinking, someone's going to crack in a minute.
I know, I thought I would, but I didn't.
You're such a good girl.
Yeah, I just didn't want to hear you.
I find there's an awful lot to get out of the club. Like, you've just been talking about the Little Ladies and the benefits for that, but even as an adult, so many things, mainly being with a bunch of women surfing is very different. It's very much atmosphere of celebration, support and encouragement, and celebrating the wipeouts and the disasters.
Yeah.
So increasing in confidence.
So it's constant celebration that goes on.
Yeah. And when I first went, it just was the most lovely atmosphere to be in. And also, when I first went, it can be quite intimidating paddling out as a woman, because most of the time, if you surf regularly, I will sit there on my board and count, and you're like, okay, there's like 5 women and 35 men. It's quite an intimidating space. You know, come here and came with the club at Fistral Beach and paddled out, and all the dudes just moved out of the way. Yeah. And I was like,
Unheard of.
Can you hustle these bastards?
We hadn't even done anything, just paddled out, and I was like, I don't know, maybe they were just friendly guys that day. Well, every day that the surf club's there, or it's the knowing the instructors, or what it was. But that was the first thing. So that, and then the atmosphere created really helped with, confidence, accessibility, fun, and I think that's a real key thing running through the club, regardless of your ability or where you are or who you are. But then also, on top of that, we do particular sessions on things that people of the members of the club were interested in. So surf theory, gear, wetsuit gear, board gear, types of stuff to use, how to read a weather report, how to read the conditions, all of that stuff as well. So you get that too. Then also on top of that, there's the social side. So be that the fabulous fancy dress Christmas bash, learning how to skateboard, that was wicked fun. There's been so many socials, the slip and slide. So it's also that term in socially confidence-wise as well. Even without the t-shirts and the wax combs, what else have I got? Oh yeah, my award. I got award for being the best wave. But person you most want to have with you on the lineup was a board wax on a round my neck medal. That was they were good.
Does that mean you're the aggressive one?
No. That's the That you've just literally summed up the club. Because
But that's what everyone else.
The hype queen.
No. It was because I took it to be
we believe you.
Not aggressive at all.
No, there are. Yeah, no. In terms of the most fun, I'm the one that's most likely to be on the board, not looking at the waves, going, "Oh my God, look at the beautiful weather," or "Oh, I love you." You know, bringing the most laughs and the most fun, and I think that's one of the main things about the club. You can learn how to be aggressive, and you can be an aggressive surfer, and we've got members who are like, "Yeah, let's go." But overall, it's about that rather than the I've got epic 10-foot waves, and I'm gonna let you eat dust.
It's like the camaraderie.
Yes,
sort of
and the supportiveness of it is quite different. Oh, and there's surf confidence sessions as well with I'm going to say this wrong, psychotherapist? No, not a
psychologist.
Psychologist. I was going to say physio.
A psycho.
Yeah, and that was all, and she tailored that for women. So you're talking about your cycle and other things, and a whole conversation about how women are more connected with life and death, which is why we can mentally talk ourselves out a lot more in the water in those kind of situations.
Well, talk yourself out of doing something, or talk yourself out of going to do it in the
first place. Get the massive waves, or put ourselves in a situation that is more, I guess, life-threatening potentially.
What for the preservation of life? Is that sort of animal instinct?
Oh gosh, I don't know. You'd have to ask. Was it Danny?
Probably.
Who ran the session? I can't remember the lovely lady who ran the session.
Is that the breath work?
No, that was
in the
another
water.
one.
Surf confidence. It was. Is it Danny
Unwin? I think I'd like to say Danny Unwin. She's a good one. That, does about surf confidence, but all that stuff behind it, which I never even knew about.
Yeah.
So
it's really interesting.
Yeah, really interesting.
Well, do you know what
there's a whole session on it, so you have to get her on a quiz.
I'm just curious about with the surf conference. What do you know, if you were part of it? Do you know kind of what was roughly spoken about? Because there's something I struggle with, I guess, is that I'm more than
we noticed.
I think I know my ability, my comfort zone in the lineup. So I am happy to be the person that says, "Nah, I'm not going out in that. I've got no problem with that whatsoever." But I guess that's just a little bit of understanding in my own head. But I'm just curious what kind of you learnt from that.
That's what I can remember. Noticing that different times of day, different months, different times, you will think differently. But then there was a whole load of tools about the psychological working with blocks and breaking through those blocks. I can't remember what the exact things were.
This overlaps a little bit with some of the conversation we were having in the hotel when we were saying, I don't know if you'd got there yet, about bravado.
Yeah.
And that we seem to think, we might be wrong, guys, that chaps will go in there regardless of their skill level, but come in with such a bravado about them, like, yes, I can do this, I know I can do this. And we will watch them and think, clearly can't do what your board is suggesting to us that you can do.
You've been watching us out.
Been watching you boys for days. I live up the road. I've been following you. So that I think there's something about that as well, that I genuinely think that women need to just care less
about what other people think.
About all that stuff.
I said something the
bollocks
other day.
to that.
We were chatting to Emily Curry the other day, and I said something to her, and I worded it completely wrong. And the way I meant to, I still don't know the way I meant to word it.
Oh, go on, have a go with us.
It was what I said was, do you think women some women hold themselves back a little bit, because we often talk about perceived barriers and actual barriers.
Okay.
And sometimes you think some people just have to get the fuck on with it. Like, just go and do it and get on with it.
That's what it's kind of helps you do that.
I also, at the same time as that being said, I understand that there are actually some barriers where, people struggle with confidence, with whatever what things they are struggling with. They have got actual barriers there, but there is a lot of barriers, I think, that, like you were saying, like the bravado thing of like guys going out and stuff like that, and I think there is a sort of guy mentality of where most of the time we've always just been told, just get on with it, just go and do it, just try it, just do it and see what happens.
I do wonder if it's the expectation on men, to be honest, that you can't say, actually, I'm feeling a bit anxious or it looks a bit big for me today, because that's not what's expected of you. I
Yeah.
feel like as a man, you're supposed to just get in and do it.
Yeah.
Exactly. You couldn't say that. Whereas I think
Yeah, I say it
women
every
are
time I'm
almost but I do think that women are expected to not be as good at surfing. So I think the expectations are lower. And the expectations are higher for men. I think it's much harder for a guy to go in and go, yeah, I'm going to start off on a foamy. No, I'm going to go for the smaller board. I don't want to go on a foamy. I don't want to be seen on that. I do think that the expectations are different. Like confidence-wise, for me, I think age has had a lot to do with it. There's a certain element of going past 40 that makes you go, fuck it, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. I genuinely don't care what anybody thinks about me anymore. I've spent my whole life worrying about that. So I think there's an element of that I think, I'm going to do whatever the hell I want. But there's also a certain amount of responsibility that I feel as a mother that I have to be safe as well, because I've got to go back to my children at the end of the day. I can't put myself in a dangerous situation. So I feel like, for me personally, I'm going to get in and surf, and I don't care if anyone thinks I should or shouldn't, but I am going to be more cautious because of my age.
You kind of set your own parameters there, which is a life skill ultimately, isn't it? And I wanted to come back to your point as well about the bravado thing, because I don't think you're saying it in a negative way at all either. But I guess if somebody's going to go out on equipment they shouldn't be on, and we see it all the time, right? We see, you can go to any beach and see that. There's absolutely nothing wrong with that, because I think that person will go out and they'll learn quite quickly that that's completely wrong. So for me that's not a problem, and I've definitely been there. When I started surfing, I didn't know anything about it, and I went and bought myself a little 5'7" board, thinking that if I can surf that, I can surf anything. I didn't have the experience to know that's just not how surfing works. So I obviously learnt a lot from that. So again, I think it feels more like a rite of passage. And I do agree that that's probably a bit of a man mentality, in that I think just if we're being stereotypical, and obviously stereotypes exist for a reason, men or boys grow up playing team sports quite a lot. So I think there's a lot of that mentality of exactly your point, just get the fuck on with it. And if it's going wrong, I think, we're kind of in that mindset of that's part of the process. So it's more kind of accepting it's wrong and we can't change it, and maybe not put too much thought into it, other than that happened, right, okay, I'll learn from that.
But I think if we're able to link all of this back into something you were saying earlier on about what does the club bring to you, and certainly to the girls that are coming through, it's going to be safety. It's going to be, let's have a look at the conditions here. What's your ability? What's your confidence like? And these conversations will happen in a way that they don't really know that they're being taught something. It'll just go into their conscious mind and back out again. And
mitigate risk.
And certainly the equipment. I was down there one day, and it was that last open day, and there was a couple of girls, and they were given foamies, and they're 7-foot foamies, and these little girls are teeny tiny. My God, I don't know what weight they would be. Christ's sake. And they came back, and they said to me, "Can we have a different board?" And I said, "Well, what's your rationale behind that then?" And I thought, if I don't get them to think about what the word rationale means, and they went, "Well, we've got a niece or a cousin or something that has a smaller board than that." And I said, "Okay, what does she do?" And she says, "Well, she's the current UK under-14 surfing champion." Okay. All right then. When you can rip like she can, you can get a smaller board. But until then, this is all for you to be able to just experience the joy of it. You're going out for an hour. Take that board. If you really hate it, next time you come, you don't have to have that one.
Yeah.
But it was just, and it was implanted in their head because they'd already seen something else. So it doesn't just go to the male psyche about having smaller kit. I don't know if that makes any sense.
It does, yeah, it does. And I think that also, like, the whole thing of it is supposed to be fun. And that's, like, if you stay on a bigger board for longer, you're going to have more fun getting to learn. It's more fun to learn when you're able to do it, and you're going to be more able to do it on a slightly bigger board. So that's why, like, the club is so brilliant, because it just gives you that encouragement to say, oh no, you can all go out on foamies and all have a laugh, and there's no pressure on anyone to think, oh, I've got to be able to surf like this, I've got to be able to stand up on the first lesson, I've got to be able to, do whatever. No, like, massive expectations other than just have fun with other women and give you a bit of confidence to improve when you want to.
No, I agree with that. I think there's like a huge expectation or a pressure for people to just progress. But every single individual takes something so different away from surfing, don't they? From the one person, like I'm at a stage now where I just want to progress. That's literally all I want to do, just because of the point I'm at. But I still need to just enjoy it.
Yeah.
And if I'm not having fun, for me, it's like, what's the point? There's obviously all the mental aspects and all that stuff. But I find it almost frustrating now. I think because I hear about the sort of therapy side of surfing so much, I feel like we're almost at a stage of, if I hear it again, I'm like, well, I went for a surf, why am I not fixed? I'm still broken in my head. And I feel like that's almost a dangerous narrative.
Sounds like a
I feel like it's quite a dangerous thing to say, that surfing's going to fix you somehow. Like, obviously we know as surfers the mental aspects of it. You know, saying before about having Crohn's, I started surfing literally within a week or so of when I got diagnosed with Crohn's. So for me, there was always this sort of what would you call it? They go hand in hand almost. So like for me, that is my reset, is my life reset. When things are hard, I need a surf. So I know I'm going to get, or I know I can get that, but it doesn't mean I'm going to get that. You know, and I think when people talk about it too much, it's almost as if you'll definitely get this if you go for a surf. And actually, you spend most of the time just super frustrated, wondering why I'm not out back yet.
Absolutely. I've definitely come back from a surf feeling worse about myself. So it doesn't always have that, do you?
I think it is that thing. If you think it is going to fix you, then you're gonna not get that more times than you're not, because the amount of times, if you can think the amount of times you've been in there and you're not really thinking about anything, you're not working on anything, and then like you go, oh, an hour or 2 hours has gone by, and you know, your mind's completely emptied, and that's it. But when you go in there going, oh, I'm feeling stressed, whatever, you take that in with you. And I used to think the same thing, that I was going to go in there and I feel fine afterwards, but it does. You take it in there and you surf like that as well. You surf angry, you surf however it is, and it's very rarely you'll go in and just, normally a good wipeout that folds you up like a salad. Apart from something like that, where if you went out there now, you probably would forget everything, because you'd just be struggling and trying to get out past like the first 3 foot of water.
I like how we've all looked out the window as you said that.
You know, like if any point in this conversation, then one of us could go, oh, and everyone would go, what?
But no, I think surfing, it's a lot like, for me anyway, I know it's an odd example, right? But it's like being back in Afghan or Iraq or being on ops, right? Because it's like, for that time you're in there, I'm not thinking about anything else. Like, I'm not thinking, oh, I need an MOT or any of the stupid daily life things. I think for an hour, however long your session is, you're just in the moment and you're really present and hopefully connected to something that allows you to switch off from the real world.
I was scared then is where you're going to go.
Yeah.
So that did like being at war. Oh my god.
I mean, it does feel like it sometimes, battling those
Bombs
waves.
in Newquay.
Yeah.
I will have to bring up Alana, who was probably still comes back to the club every now and then, but she's doing her own thing now, and you've already interviewed her.
Yeah.
And she would always say in that chirpy little way of hers, just go with no expectations. Just go in and have a surf.
Yeah.
And what I'm getting from that is you're screwing your own mind over here, Joe.
Yeah.
And she can see it.
Yeah.
And she's saying, just go in with no expectations. And then the next time she said, is there anything that you want to work on? Well, yeah. I mean, here's the list. Okay.
So
well, then just...
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
I want to work on having no expectations. That's
Yeah,
what I want to
yeah.
work on.
Of anything.
So go in next time and just think about your foot placement. That's it. Nothing else.
Yeah.
And so it really just simplified everything, and it does
Yeah.
just gets rid of the angst a bit, and you know, a bit of more joy will come from it because you'll achieve those simpler things,
Yeah.
which is quite nice.
I remember being told that years ago by someone, and same thing. Like I was trying to figure out how to do it.
that to you not long ago as well.
Yeah, but somebody says that to me all the time. They said I was trying to learn tons, and I was just getting really frustrated, and I wasn't getting along waves. He said, just don't do anything. Just go along the wave and do nothing. Just enjoy the wave. And I'd done that. I didn't go in with anything, and I was rewarded with, like, I guess at the time it was like one of the longest waves I'd ever ridden. And it's like, yeah, I didn't do anything, but the feeling of that is pretty special. And I also know that generally my best surfs are if I haven't surfed for weeks and weeks, because if you surf, I know you guys may be fortunate enough to get in the water quite a bit, I'm not sure, but if you surf all the time, and it's a bit like life as well, you're aware of your flaws, you're aware of the things that are frustrating you in the moment. But if you've had a couple of weeks, you can just go in, you're not thinking of that, and you can just get in and enjoy it and have that first good session back.
Has she got a dog with her? And put him in the bedroom because he
So,
relaxed.
just to let you know what
She's
I'm
literally
staring off out the
phoning you right
window. Open the door for her. And,
Oh no, wait till the dog's
This way.
gone.
Bruce,
My dog doesn't like it if you don't help her to get it.
Ferry.
Sorry.
Hello.
We're waiting
Bruce,
for
tell
you
us who you
to.
are. What do you do?
Oh my god, this is crazy. This is Ziggy Dog, by the way. She's way more interesting than me.
So this one's yours.
Oh.
Hi, Ferry.
Hi,
Somebody
Ferry.
new
This
to the
is crazy.
family.
I know, sorry.
For the audio listeners, someone just joined the party.
Someone was busy in the
Were
sea.
you having one more wave? Is that what's
One more
been going
wave.
on?
I know, I was. No, it was one more. Yeah, one more. I don't know. It was quite blowy getting changed to the back of the car. That was probably more like it. I literally pulled down my wetsuit and then I was, oh, hi, Ferry, how are you? And it was this guy I taught years ago at Watergate. I was like, yeah, good. Yeah, it was all right. No, we just had the little ladies out. So.
Nice.
Not out the back. A bit big for them.
Well, welcome to the party.
Thank you.
You've missed a lot. Lots going on.
Good.
And so maybe we'll just do it quick. Just hold the mic on your chin,
Oh,
and
yeah.
then you're kind of good there.
Cool.
So yeah, let's just jump straight into. I don't know where we were at before, but
Sorry.
tell the people who you are and how you're involved.
I'm Ferry, Sarah Ferry. I am one of the directors for Newquay Surf Club and one of the surf coaches too.
Nice.
I did attend many years ago, I think about 13 years ago, when it was Rosa running the club. I used to come, and then I've been coaching for a women's club for about 8 years now.
And what do you get from it? What have you got from it in that time?
Oh, well, it's an amazing social. We've met loads of people, amazing women as well. Me for coaching as well. It's been a great coaching resource because not one size fits all as well.
No.
You know, you have to really think about people's pop-ups, their abilities, and not just get stuck in the white water as well, and really try and encourage people to get out the back and have fun. And over the time we've met loads of people with different anxieties as well. I mean, one member, she didn't even want to put her head in the water when she first came, and now she's out the back surfing. Yeah, it's amazing.
And who's the most aggressive member of the club?
What's you doing?
Not in the water though, because I'm shite.
No,
I'm
you're
really
not.
shite.
No, you're
I'm
not.
a whitewater warrior, basically.
The thing is, when you said it, everyone just looked.
I
I don't know
know.
I think you're getting aggressive mixed up with what's that other?
Passionate,
Passionate,
yeah.
All of those things.
Yeah.
I knew you all had other words for aggression.
So apparently you're the one that knows when the club started, how
Oh, yeah.
the origins of it.
Yeah, we
So
said you
it
did.
started in about 2009 with Rosa and Sophie Skinner, I believe, and they ran it from just up the road. I can't remember where they ran it from to start, but it's been official since 2020.
Okay.
Yeah.
And was it a north wind that day it started?
Probably.
Was it a Monday?
Probably.
Northwesterly.
Northwesterly.
Devil
Oh my
wind
god, that would
day
be an
it
amazing origin story. Yeah, we need Rosa for that one. But
so 2020 is official. That's when it's CIC.
yes, it was, and that's when we started the Little Ladies Club
Okay.
as well,
Yeah.
and got the kids involved.
How
too.
hard was that process to get the charity element?
I think it was all right. We did have to, because by then, you know, there was the Wave Project. There was quite a number of surfing CICs as well. So it was kind of quite an obvious progression for the club as well.
Yeah.
So we got a lot of help to that as well, and we built a brilliant committee as well, which has really benefited the club, and we took on a few more directors as well. So yeah, it's been brilliant. So it's been a really good learning process too.
Yeah.
But yeah, everyone's really got on board, and if it wasn't for the committee, I definitely wouldn't have driven it that hard. And well, it was more the amazing members that really pushed for it to become what it is now as well. I mean, it makes me laugh as well because we even the clothing has really progressed. We started off with, like, I remember back in the day, like big grey hoodies. It was the fashion of the style, and then now we've got bright colours. Jen came in sweatshirts. I always think she brought that in. So yeah, and to have the little ladies as well from that is brilliant. What it gives them too.
How many groms do you have down there? Ish.
I had a mad guess at about 40, 45.
Yeah, probably. I would say we've got about 20 regulars, I would say, at the moment, definitely. And they some of those have been coming for years as well. So to see them grow, which is insane, and but some of them will still have progressed to like, I call them big ladies, but the actual surf club now. So they're coming with their parents to that, and it's nice because it is a parent-child thing that they share. Like our members bring like the little ladies, and then they stay on, come to like Newquay Surf Club after.
It's a really special thing to surf for your kids. Like it's really cool.
Yeah, I've had that so many on the beach. Like it happened this summer actually at Watergate, and there's a mum who comes up and is like, "Oh, you guys are really cool surfing, and I'm thinking about getting my kids into it." And my friend and I were like, No, you should do it. You should come to Newquay Women's Surf Club, because I think a lot of mums do that, and then they just automatically, we'll get the kids to do it. And I'm like, no, you as well.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How is the difference between teaching the kids and the adults? Is there
which is worse? Adults. Adults 100%.
I would honestly think it would be more challenging teaching the adults.
Yeah, it is, because we've got a lot more going.
Because we've met some of them.
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Exactly. Which one's the most challenging? Yeah.
All right, mate.
I didn't point at you at all.
But when you're an adult, you've got a lot of context in your life, haven't you? You've got a lot of experiences, especially as women. We are overthinkers. We are thinking like, it's hard.
One sentence, scared.
Exactly. It's hard to switch off. You're thinking about later, you think about what the kids are having. But that's the amazing thing what club gives as well. It gives them their time to come and have their bit of time too. But the kids just listen. They don't ask why. They're like, right, so put your hands here, stand up like this. And they're like, okay, I'm doing it. And you're like, yeah, that's amazing. Like, you've done it. Whereas, the older ladies have come in, and from whatever jobs they've got, they look at someone like me and they're like, am I going to trust this woman? I'm not 100%. Are you sure I'm going to go out the back with you? Or, so it takes a little more coaxing.
I remember showing one a guitar once and going, this is C, this is G, this is E, and they went, bring, yeah, I did like that. And I was like,
oh no, they did it.
What just happened?
Yeah.
Like, so I can imagine with the surf, it's like, like you're saying, just put your hands down, stand up, and they go, what, like that? And you're like,
yeah, kid like that. And some of them are like, was that it? And I'm like, was that not the best feeling in the world? Well, yeah, it was alright. But then they do grow to love it, and then they get the challenge of going out the back. And then it's funny when they start to, hormones kick in. We've got a few of that with some of the older ones, and it was quite a big day the other day, and they wanted to go, but I just had to explain, look, if your leash snaps and you have to swim in from that, obviously I'm going to be there, but is that a swim you want to take on?
I'm going to make you work for it as well. Like, I'm not going to just come and get you.
Exactly.
Life lesson.
Yeah, then they have to think about, okay, do I want to take that on? I'm like, you can absolutely push yourself when the conditions are right, but this was just a little bit too on the edge for them. But they were all getting a bit grumpy and a bit attitude. Like, well, why can't we? They're out there. And I'm like, yeah, but they've done the time. Some of them are on the UK Grand Tour, I think, some of the kids are.
Wow.
You've got to make them want it as well.
Yeah. And how more difficult, is that right word? Like, that doesn't sound right to me, but for an adult come in and not surfing before and go and put your hands there and then do that, what happens? What's the difference?
It really depends on the person as well. Some people, again, get it straight away, but they always love it because they're like, oh, wow, this feels amazing. Yeah. And other people, it takes a long time as well because, you've got different hip flexibilities as well, different injuries as you get older, different confidences as well. But I think the more time it takes, the more you do fall in love with it and you achieve as well because it gives you so much more because you've worked so hard at it.
I totally agree with that, and I can relate to that. It took me forever to just even figure out what the fuck I was doing, let alone catch a wave. But honestly, I think because it's not an easy sport to learn because it's so like you're just constantly getting battered, and it's almost like constant failure, isn't it? And you just have to, it's that resilience sort of thing of
you should be used to that.
Getting back on with it and loving it. But I think through time it makes you appreciate it more because I did stick with it. I feel like I have overcome the thing that was beating me down. And I love it for that,
Oh, definitely. And I'm the same. Like, I'm ever still striving with my surfing and a really hard critic on myself. And then we get younger girls who've done their surf coach now coming up, and you've taught them to surf as well. And then you see them like hanging 10 or doing these massive cutbacks, and you're like, oh,
bastard.
Yeah.
I taught them that. I taught that.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, one of the things I find quite funny is like the amount that people say how good surfing is for your mental health and all that sort of stuff, and the amount of time you spend out there telling yourself how shit you are, or why didn't I do that right, or like, you know, the negative self-talk that comes with it.
I have had a little cry out there before. But
I've had a good cry in the sea.
In fact, one of them was actually because I was just so unbelievably pleased with myself. And I had a little cry. Oh, I didn't have any witnesses.
Oh,
did it even? And the other time was like, I hate this more. I don't know if you were there, but I think Rosa was there, like catching grenades. I was chucking at her. Just, what do you want to go and have a sit for a minute?
So you were gutted that no one saw your wave?
So I say
you were
again?
gutted and cried because no one saw your wave?
Yeah, it felt so bloody good.
Yeah.
No,
it's just
the good ones.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, I think I've done it. I just no one saw it.
But you know.
I think I was at Watergate. I knew.
But you know.
Yeah, and I can still remember how that feels. Oh, I could get emotional again.
Exactly, but you've got to think who you're doing it for. You're not doing it for the likes. You're not doing it for everybody else. You're doing it for yourself.
But at the same time,
it felt
would
good.
be great for other people to see it.
Oh yeah. When someone states
they see the shit ones.
You just said a minute ago about immoral was in.
Yeah.
Right? I caught a wave Tuesday, was it? It was probably the best wave I've caught here, and I did 3 nice turns on it. Each one kicked up a little bit of spray. I came back to him and he went, "Yeah, I think that was the wind, mate."
It was pretty windy.
Yeah.
You need to surf with women. We would have been there like, it was amazing. We saw the spray. Awesome.
You came with us. We'd be like, no. It was like,
don't listen to
That's
But Tuesday went big though.
Yeah, in the afternoon.
Yeah.
Tuesday after. Tuesday, I think the evening.
The evening went beautiful.
Oh yeah.
Because there's quite often an overlap in clubs and different things, and we might all know each other through other bits and bobs. But the Surf Lifesaving was on over the other side, so you might get people that are in that come to this as well. Christ, I'm glad I wasn't lifeguarding out there.
Yeah.
It was monumental.
Yeah.
And it was high tide as well, so...
Yeah. And that's why I sent that link to you of the drone, but I don't know if you've seen that somewhere.
No, I saw it, and it's because we went in the morning, and then we went in the early afternoon, and the early afternoon was close out when Mitch got absolutely sandwiched, which was hilarious. Best thing I'd had all week. And then
it's the new salute.
Literally.
I'm going to get him a t-shirt that says Mr. Toasty.
Honestly, it was like a chiropractor adjustment, but I didn't get the crack. Like, I would have been buzzing if my back went pop.
Yeah.
But it didn't. I've just got a sore neck.
But yeah, and then the evening we were, I think we were down by Rock interviewing Escape Surfboards, and then we saw the footage afterwards. We were like, oh, it was amazing in the evening.
Yeah.
But as amazing as it was big. So
and it was packed.
We were
packed.
There
were some good surfers out there.
We thought we had maybe someone from your club snaking us, actually. Have you got a club member that wears a really bright orange sleeved suit? It was just the sleeves, if I remember right. Because there was a point yesterday morning.
Don't look at me again.
You got the orange suit. You were out there ripping. I'm sure it was you.
No, I've got a swim one.
If they were ripping, it was definitely Joey.
They paddled up to us, and I thought they were going to say something. And then they just sat like this close to us.
We found their own space, we found their own bit of space for once, and nobody was anywhere near us. And this lady just paddled, like literally, before we were sat like this talking.
Yeah.
It was like,
Usually that wouldn't have been one of ours. We're far too polite.
Said nothing. I remember turning around, I was like, oh, there's somebody there, and then she never said anything, and it was like, it was just odd. And I
well,
thought,
we do teach intimidation techniques.
we thought she was gauging us. Maybe it was somebody seeing if it was us.
The secret social sessions. What goes on at Intimidation Club stays at Intimidation Club.
It must, like you said earlier, the intimidation thing a bit of, I can't remember which one of you said, I think it was you said paddled out with, and then it's just men in the water and it's intimidating. I think crossing that over to like men as well, we do get the same thing. As if we paddle out somewhere and we don't know anybody, and there's just men, it's still intimidating on both sides of that. And I think that's the interesting thing that we're always trying to find out is, like, because obviously we don't know what it's like to be a woman, what it's like to be in a women's surf club or paddle out as a woman. But as a man, the thing we hear women say about surfing and surf clubs, we often go, actually,
feel
we
the
feel
same.
thing.
Can relate, yeah.
And it's, you know, apart from what we spoke about earlier, the mentality of like, as a man or as a young boy, you just start to get on with it and like, you know, man up, carry on, whatever, all that sort of stuff. And I know things have changed more now, but it's I think it is very similar, and I think it's more similar than actually people think it is.
Because it's just, I think ultimately it comes down to a people problem and an individual basis, because everyone's so different. Like, we might have the exact same emotions and we might see the same scenario or the same thing in a scenario, but completely different to someone else. And exactly Pete's point, like the amount of times I'll paddle out at a new spot and you almost feel intimidated because you don't know anyone and you feel like everyone's looking at you. And I think just because surfers are just selfish, and it's not that anyone's sitting being rude. It's just that everyone just wants their own wave. So because no one's talking to you, it doesn't mean somebody's being aggressive or whatever. That's just the nature of surfing. Like, people may be having a shit day and they want to go have their waves and whatever. And it's not that they don't like you. It's just that they want to do their thing. And maybe it's by chance they hate you.
But everyone's competition, aren't they?
Yeah.
When you're surfing, everyone is, because like you said, you go out there and you want selfishly, you want a wave.
Yeah.
You want everyone's going for the best wave of the day. That's what you're going out there for, and every other person in that lineup is your competition.
Yeah.
So as much as I think surfing has this kind of nice sort of laid back kind of reputation and everything, when you're out there it is
it can be very intimidating,
and it is competition.
It's a sport for wankers, isn't it?
It is pretty much, yeah. I don't know what we're doing.
But I think the stereotypical culture you're referring to is not actually the surf culture in the water. I think that's the car park
Agree.
culture.
Yeah, I agree.
Actually being in the lineup.
Yeah.
So the surf culture that everyone thinks is the only bit of that isn't surf culture is the lineup. And I would go one further to say about how competitive it is when you're in the lineup. I think it goes to the point you get in the car, because when I jump in the car or the van and I'm driving, in my head every other vehicle is somebody that's trying to steal the one spot that's left at South Fistral. So I'm trying to race. The competition starts way before I'm in the lineup. I genuinely think so. And it's something that, again, it's genuinely been hard for us, and we find ourselves sort of stumbling around these conversations, because I guess we just, you know, often when we've had sort of women's groups on, sometimes it's not been a group, it's just been maybe one rep from the club. So we've not been able to get other people's perspectives, and we find ourselves fumbling through a conversation because it's clear what we want to say, but we would never want to come across as either misogynistic or mansplaining and all that sort of shit, you know. So we did wonder about, and this goes back to Pete's point about what have you experienced that maybe somebody could perceive as a barrier versus what is actually a barrier, because I guess it's easy to say that these are the barriers, but actually is it a barrier, or is that just something that's in your head, which could be in anyone's head, versus the reality of what it's actually
you've also
like?
got on that same thing, just because it's a barrier in your head, that's still a barrier, that's your barrier, you know.
Yeah.
But is it a general? But it's a fucking minefield. Try and explain it, or like try and ask the question without going, this is what. So what do you mean by that? It's like if just because it's your own perception of that's a barrier, it doesn't actually mean it's a barrier for everybody. That's just your you know, you've got individual barriers, I think, and then actual main barriers that are there. And what are they?
I mean, when I mentioned the intimidation, it was less from the actions. Well, I mean, the actions of in the water. It was more paddling out, and there's 5 women and 35 men.
Yeah.
It wasn't necessarily the actions of anyone, and that's one reason I like the club, and I think it's down to the club that there is a lot more women in the water around Newquay. 100%.
Yeah, I would say from what I've experienced with talking to lots of people about learning to surf, it is confidence as well, which is the barrier. So you instantly think if people are out the back that they're good. All these surfers out here, they're good. All these surfers know what they're doing. I'm going to get in their way. I'm not going to know what to do. I'm going to mess up the wave. Someone's going to get angry with me. So what you have to try and look at is what we talk about at club, is look at the people out there. Oh, actually, he didn't catch that wave, or she didn't actually stand up properly on that wave. They just nosedived. So actually, a lot of people out there, if it's a big day, it's a bit different. But a lot of people out there usually learning themselves, or like whatever gender they are too, they are progressing too. And you can find, if they are really good, they'll often go round you, or they won't mind. They'll say, it's okay.
What? I think the first part you said of that is hit the nail on the head of it, is the confidence, because being in the club, being an individual, however you want to go about it and do it, once you've got that confidence, I'm only saying from my own point of view here, is I'm now confident enough that I can paddle out and go, it doesn't matter, I can paddle out and get out in most conditions, probably not today, but most conditions I feel comfortable enough to get out there, and that does give you that extra bit of, the intimidation's gone a little bit, because you think, actually I can paddle out here and I deserve to get out here, I can get out here, I can surf these waves, and it gives you that. So coming into it, I don't think it matters if you're man, woman, whatever. At the beginning, when you're learning, I think the whole thing of surfing is massively intimidating, because of not only is it something you haven't done, you've got the elements of the ocean that's, let's be honest, always trying to kill you anyway. And I think those are in there, but it's that bit when you just said the building the confidence, I was like, actually, because I was just thinking about it, the more your confidence grows in surfing, the more all the intimidation and everything you feel just drops away. I think.
Totally agree. Isn't it? For the first, when you start out, there's so many variables to go wrong, and then I think you think I'm going to start surfing, and you just assume it's always clean, and then you learn that it's just not how the world works. It's always messy. It's always howling. It's always challenging.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
I liked your point as well. About just sort of standing and observing and looking at everyone else. You assume that they're really good, and then you just see the rubbish, and they're just learning. But I like another level of thought, that you're in a post debrief, and you've got a spider board with photos of surfers up. You go, look, this one was shit. What's their name? That's Steve. Here's where Steve went wrong.
I know.
Surfboard.
Well, what gave me this idea is I did a few seasons out in the Swiss Alps, and one of my friends, who was a good skier, we stood in the middle of the ski slope, and he was going, shit, they're good, look at them, as people skiing past us. I was like, oh my god, no. But I was like, actually, you transfer it. I don't quite do that at the back, but you can soon start looking and see people.
That's what surfers like in the Swiss Alps.
Powdery. No, I didn't do long, I did miss the surf.
And how did everyone get into surfing?
I grew up on the northeast coast, so there's a lot of surf around there.
Saltburn?
Yeah.
My home spot.
Is it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, so I'm from Saltburn.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And I didn't surf much when I was a kid. I was never very good. There wasn't really anyone pushing the women. I think there was one other woman who was surfing as well.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have the focus when I was a kid. And then I went travelling. It was when I came back. There was the surf school there, Nick Noble's surf school.
Yeah.
It was one of the girls who was working there, and she started. I think they teamed up with
Gary Rogers.
Yeah, there was Gary as well, but they teamed up with, I don't know if it was the council, and they were offering reduced surf lessons.
Oh, cool, yeah.
So I went out with them for a bit, and then just loved it from there.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah.
What about everyone else?
Yeah, so I started quite late as well.
Oh, I started late. So I started at 50, and it was a time when my job wasn't 24-hour shifts, and I was able then to commit to going in the evenings. I'd always been a very water-related person. I'd always been a swimmer, or diving, anything.
Yeah.
But just for some reason, I'd never really bothered about surfing. I grew up on the south coast, lived in Newquay for a long time, and I thought, I'm going to give it a go. Give it a go. And one of the barriers, or actually one of those little hurdles, was historic sort of low back injury from springboard diving. And that is a bit of a bugger to get over when you're just trying to get your legs up and under. But actually, the more you do, the easier it gets. The more you're beginning to condition what your body should do for you if you want it to. So I go out the back on small days. I'm up just 1.5, 2 foot. And that's a little bit frightening.
Yeah.
But
So
I'm not
with you.
worried about the water. I think I'm just worried about that trying and failing thing. I think, what is wrong? Just get on with it.
Yeah.
But I've been on a few trips abroad with the club, and had my best waves, I think, in, where did we go last time? Portugal. November-ish time last year, Portugal. And there were some big lumps of water moving over there. Yes. Oh, you saw me. Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
Just fucking do it.
It's hardly the Swiss Alps.
And you know, it was so completely opposite to having a really nice wave and feeling and no witnesses to all the girls were on the beach just going, can you see me? Can you see me? Then, you can see me, like, yeah. that was a really nice time.
Yeah.
So yeah, I dip in and out. I've had a bit of a crap year actually attending this year, but you know, on the up and up again. So not to labour the point.
What about everyone else?
I got into surfing through my dad.
Okay.
So my dad was a surfer for as long as I can remember, even though we lived in the Midlands as far as away from any sea that it could be. But I'd spend weekends going down and watching him surf.
Mm-hmm.
And I grew up around it and I was obsessed with surfing. But going back to barriers, I couldn't do it.
Yeah.
I just had this mental block, no matter how much my dad facilitated it and tried everything possible to get me in the sea. I just had this fear of the sea. I loved the ocean. I loved being near it. I loved everything around it. But I just had this mental block of getting in the sea. So I spent years watching it, working in the surf industry, just being part of it, apart from getting in the sea.
Right.
And sadly, I lost my dad not long ago.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
And thank you. And it made me think, I just need to do this. I've wanted to do it for so long, but could never get past this mental rock that was just keeping me out of the water. And I thought, I just need to go in and do it.
Mm-hmm.
But I knew there was no way I was getting in on my own. I'd had a few surfs with my dad. I'd had some really lovely surfs with my dad, but never felt confident to go on my own. So when he wasn't there to go with him, that's when I found the club. And finding a group of women that just made me feel so sort of confident and comfortable and safe to get in the sea and rediscover this kind of passion that I knew was there was amazing. And the more I was going to sessions and learning with the club, I then found the confidence to go, I'm going to go for a surf on my own. And that was huge. So talking about that intimidation coming down from never ever would have considered getting the sea on my own. I wouldn't have. It would have been with a group of women only. But now knowing that I feel confident enough that I can go and have a surf on my own, and that's just feels huge to me. And I do think that the only barriers, you know, it's been facilitated for me in every possible way, and all of the barriers were in my own head. They were the only barriers I've ever sort of faced. You know, I've never had a negative experience in the sea from other people. You know, I feel really lucky that I've never had anybody shout me off a wave or anything, probably because I'm catching the crap ones that they don't want anyway. But yeah, but I've always had a really good experience in the sea. But it was definitely all within me, my barriers.
Is it frustrating now that you can and you do, looking back? I know we shouldn't live in the past, but still.
God, yes. I'm like, when my dad was trying to get me on a board at the age of 4, I'm like, I could have been somebody. I could have been, because he was an amazing surfer.
Yeah.
And I just think, and my sister's brilliant. My sister used to surf with him all the time. She's a really good surfer. And I go out now with her and I think, oh, I was 10 years ahead of you. I could have been. Yeah. But then I also think life's not, life's short, as he's shown me, and it's never too late. It is never too late. And if I only get, another 10 years of surfing, yes, I could have had 30 odd, but I still did it in the end. And that's been a huge thing, to think that it's never too late. And I think that's what I loved. When I came along to the club, I was convinced that when I turned up that I was going to be the oldest woman there. I was like, I'm going to be. Of course I am. Surely nobody learns to surf after 40.
I think it's just...
I was going to do that one.
No C word.
That's why they keep me on.
The C bomb was coming out there.
Why they keep me on? Yeah.
The sheep seagull.
I genuinely didn't expect to meet anybody that was my age or older that were surfing. And to get to the club and realise that I kind of fell in the middle bracket was amazing. I was like, wow, there are women that are kind of like 10, even older, like years ahead of me, that are getting out and surfing. And I'm like, oh my God, it is never too late to learn. And if they can do it, what excuse have I got? Like, I genuinely haven't.
Yeah.
And that's what I love, is that the club is really inspirational, because you meet women that have been through so many different things. You know, we've got people that have been fighting cancer, people that have, you know, lost people. There's just so many stories that have brought people to that point. And that's what I really love, like hearing those stories and encouraging people. And the coaches are amazing. And because we do, and Rosa, you're not here, Rosa, but love you, Rosa.
She's not dead.
No, she's not dead. Sorry.
Well, have you checked in?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
I'm good now we've said that. No, the coaches are amazing. I think coming to the club on a weekly basis, they get to know you so much, and that makes such a difference. You know, you've not gone on holiday and just paid for a one-off surf lesson. These coaches get to know you, and they know your ability, but they also know what's going on in your life.
Yeah.
So when I went for the first surf after my dad had passed, I was in there and I wasn't in the right headspace to be surfing, but I was determined I was going to surf because that's where I'd be close to him, and he's in the sea, and that's where I needed to be. And I was trying, I'd put so much pressure on myself for it to be a good surf. I was like, this has to be a good surf. It's, you know, first surf since he's passed. And Rosa came over to me and she went, are you okay? Because you are, like, I'm not getting the right vibes from you today. You are not yourself. Is everything okay? And I just went, ah! And burst out crying and explained. And she was like, okay. And she gave me a big hug. And she was like, put your hands on the board. I put my hands on my board, and we stood in the water. And she just put her hands on top of mine, and she was like, let's just breathe for a minute. We're going to breathe. We're just going to take it easy, okay? Just take a breath. It's fine. He's here. I'm here. And this is going to be a good surf. And she just gave me what I needed. She gave me the hug. She gave me that kind of confidence. And I relaxed. And I caught a gorgeous wave, and a rainbow appeared. And honestly, it was incredible, and I just felt so grateful at that moment to the coaches and the club, because it's meant a lot.
I think that story says the difference to me why women's surf clubs work and men's surf clubs don't happen.
Yeah.
Because the way that blokes would deal with that, like, even if I was talking to Mitch or one of my friends, I'd be like, sorry you're going through that, you get better at bite. Like, something, you know, it's as sympathetic as you want to be. I think a lot of the times we don't know how to speak to each other. We're not the ones that can be there emotionally for you, or like help you like that. Sometimes it's just like, you know, if you want to talk to me, that's all right, but having someone there in a group of women that, let's face it, women are a lot better at talking than men normally.
Shut us up.
They'll talk through everything properly, and whereas I think blokes will just be like, oh yeah, shit, sorry about that, I hope you work it all out, sort of thing like that. And you know, there's sometimes we can surprise you and be sensitive at the right points, but I think that, like, the story, there's a couple of things you said that is like, right, you know, that's why women's clubs work, that's why this club works, that's, you know, and to have that moment and to be able to have that sort of reset from the mood you're in the water, and not have to go through that yourself and do that yourself. Like Mitch said earlier, his reset is by himself out in the water, doing it himself, and there's not the person there to go, you know, like, let's just breathe, everything's going to be all right. And that's quite
I agree.
Point as well. You know, you mentioned that you didn't feel like emotionally you were in the right place to go for a surf. You're in the right headspace, and for you, the moment was that piece with the instructor at the end, right?
Yeah.
For me, exactly that. You know, I lost my mum to cancer maybe 3 years ago. She had cancer for 40 years. She had 7 different types of cancer, and if this doesn't sum up surfing, I don't think anything does, but I think when I found out she had cancer again, and I don't know what it was, I knew this was the one that was going to get her, right? I went for a surf. I went straight for a surf. That's exactly what I've done. And it was like I don't even know what it was, but it was like, if just doing that doesn't sum up what surfing does for me, right? But then, same, when I got the call the day she died, I literally went straight for a surf. It was like the only thing I'd done. A couple of years later, a mile and a half, diagnosed with cancer. I went for a surf again, and actually 3 weeks ago she's been re-diagnosed with liver cancer, and actually today she had her first chemo session back at that. And that I went for a surf just to, I don't think I needed that emotional connection to something or someone. It was just that, going back to my point, that army reference before about, you know, kind of surfing's like being on ops, because nothing, I can just switch off for an hour. I can not think about something that, or maybe I should be thinking about, I don't know, but I think that's probably mine and maybe more men's way of dealing with things, just being in your own space, because we can't really...
Going in water and just submerging yourself in cold water can just reset you.
Yeah.
It's just that,
totally.
like, okay, well, I've got a lot of stuff I'm going to need to deal with, but it's not going to happen just for a minute. I'm just going to go, get in the sea, even if it's just going for a swim, which is what I do more often now than the whole bloody palaver. Oh, getting in a wetsuit. Oh. And I only live out around the road.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous. But just that, almost control, alt, delete, and back to factory settings. Right, I'm going to tackle whatever that is now. So
It's
cold
grounding,
water.
it grounds you.
Yeah, yeah.
What about you?
Yeah, it's very grounding.
So, yeah, in backpacking around Australia in 1997, as an 18-year-old
cool.
English girl, like, always loved the idea of surfing, was obsessed with the film Blue Juice. I can quote that entire film.
Awesome.
Was
Sorry,
like, yes.
Never seen it.
You've never seen it.
Sorry.
Oh my gosh, you literally need to like leave now.
I only watched
Seriously.
it, I think, about 3 weeks ago
Right.
for the first time.
It's the 30th anniversary. They've got anyway.
Yeah.
That's another
I've
podcast.
seen
That's a
Beetlejuice. I've seen Beetlejuice.
It's Catherine Zeta-Jones, Ewan McGregor, Sean Burwick.
Yeah,
Never
I've
heard
got
of
a juicer on before, the guy who made it as well. And, like,
And you still haven't watched it?
No, I wasn't on the show.
Oh, that's right
I
then.
was busy watching Beetlejuice.
I love Beetlejuice as well, but for different reasons.
Well, Crab lives around the corner from you.
I
Yeah,
have
from
no idea.
Bluejuice.
His YouTube channel is just pure sunshine. I keep telling everyone to watch it because it's just so fun.
Yeah, he's always at
He's like the
Fistral.
club in a little like sunshiny.
Oh.
He in the one where he drives around in his car with the ding, and he gets his Cornish pasty, and then he's out surfing at Fistral, and he's like, hey, he's got the kind of. He's got club vibes. He's like sunshiny and great.
Okay, I'll
But
give him a
anyway,
t-shirt.
Yeah. He's all out. Anyway, yes. So in Australia, and I was like,
yes.
right, yeah, no, I will. Okay, if I can learn to surf in Australia, right? It's the place to do it. Ended up traveling with 3 Australian guys, and we were living in like a caravan park, like summer
Oh my
bay.
God, like Home and Away.
Yes, Home and
That's
Away. That's the word.
amazing.
Well, yeah, no, it was.
Alf Stewart.
They were getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning.
Tell
to go
me they got a
surfing.
caravan.
That's neighbours.
That's neighbours.
Embarrassing.
It's so funny because it's always looking back, at the time. Anyway, then we went to the beach, and one of them was like, "Oh, do you want to learn to surf?" Of course. Me and my mate had our board shorts, like before just before Roxy existed. Guys' board shorts, thinking we were really cool. But of course, he gave us a lesson on Nat Young's surf beach. Again, like at the time, what? But it was on a shortboard. It was on it must have been tiny. It must have been like a 6. Anyway. So of course, 2 of us sort of had a go. And I just remember thinking, I can't do this. And because I never knew any women or saw any women, I was just like, oh, it's not something women do. Literally. I was like, oh, okay. Then, 20 years later, I had a near-death experience and kind of woke up and was like, what the hell am I doing? All these things that I really loved and was really passionate about when I was a teenager, I don't do them anymore. They're not a part of my life. What the heck? So I was like, I'm going to bloody well learn how to surf. And I did a couple of lessons and then did that thing of hiring random boards in random places and learning that, no, you need to have the same board and on the same beach, ideally, to learn to surf, because otherwise you're learning too much each time. And then was like in Newquay Women's Surf Club, signed up straight away, loved it, and have learnt loads, and my surfing has really progressed as a result.
That's fantastic. That's a great story.
And sometimes even when I say it out loud, it sounds a bit mad. But like, yeah, the home and away stuff. It was. That was it.
Do you not think it's amazing though that I always think this way? It's like veterans as well, and it takes somebody having like a really horrendous. Like I know people that have been and now climbed Everest and things like that, and they've only got like one leg, and I'm like, before you were a lazy bastard.
Yeah.
Like, why does it take that to pull it out of somebody's mind? Think I'm going to go do something incredible. Imagine you could apply that mindset. But imagine being able to apply that.
Lazy.
Well, imagine being able to apply that when you're fully able, like what you could do with your life. You know, I think that's.
Yeah. I think it comes back to that thing of like you realise you've got to use this life, like, and for me it's kind of like a reset. Like, hang on a minute, all those things that I really, really loved, the sea being one of them, and you know, I mean, my dad loves sailing, but who's got the money to buy a boat these days and hang out on one of those?
Yeah.
Surfing is way
just
cheaper.
affordable.
Yeah, I don't want to leave this world in a perfectly pristine body that's been preserved. I don't want to be broken and bruised.
Yeah.
I want to have used it properly. You know?
Is that your excuse for yesterday?
Yeah. What about yourself?
Yeah, I guess I dabbled when I was younger. I grew up on Exmoor, so it's like sort of North Devon, one of my closest beaches. Yeah. Well, I mean, sometimes and fire. No. So like. Yeah, so North Devon's probably like my closest beaches. But yeah, I only really sort of like dabbled in surfing sort of late teens, early 20s. I did go on a week-long trip just to Morocco with a friend and did a bit of surfing there. But yeah, I kind of, about 4 years ago, we just decided to move from mid-Devon where we lived to Newquay to here, and just me and my husband, and I thought, okay, you know, I'm just going to do everything. I'm going to surf, like, but I'm going to be in the water every single like moment I can be. And so yeah, I sort of started surfing a bit, and then I didn't really like sort of know, I didn't not know many people and stuff. I started working in a bar, and then like, got to know a few people, but they were all like really freaking good. And then so I was a bit like out of my depth, literally. And yeah, and so then I started at the Women's Surf Club earlier this year, like right at the start of the summer, and it's just been like amazing for my confidence and surfing ability. Like, I had never even been out back before. Well, not like with not from actually wanting to get out there. Unfortunately, how do I get back?
We've all thought it.
I was going to Morrison's.
Yeah, but like so intentionally, like just paddle out back, and it's really like Amy and Martha and Cornelia, who I've been mainly with on a Wednesday night, and just being like, yeah, just get out there, just paddle, you know, just do it. Yeah. And I'm like, okay, can I do it? And they're like, yeah.
And so Cornelia is something else though.
Yeah.
She's like, yeah, go. Oh, well, okay, fine.
But even coming to club, Cornelia was always something else. So what's really nice now is some of the members who've been here a long time are starting to do their surf coaches as well.
Nice.
And now they're coming to coach for club, and Cornelia was one of them, and she just wanted big waves from the start. No, I only like riding big waves. Okay, Cornelia, but do you think we should, you know, go through? No, big waves. And she's done it right, and she's like goes out all the time. She's really honed her skill, and she's become an amazing surfer as well, and an amazing coach. And I think she's going to uni now, isn't she? So we are going to miss her. She's been landlocked for a bit.
Did she get a place?
She'll be back. Yeah, she will be back.
Yeah.
So I was just working out, none of you are actually from Newquay.
No.
Is anyone from Newquay?
Well,
no. Wait, yeah, there is. Alana is from Newquay.
Oh,
yes. My boyfriend, so there's two people
Alan
that
is.
are actually from
I know
Newquay.
that they went to school together and never met until.
I know.
wow.
Yeah, they did.
But I think that's one of the great things about Newquay is so many people live here because they wanted to move here, that it's like it makes it quite a happy place to be, because like people have chosen their life to be here.
What is the reality of living in Newquay? Because I nearly got posted here when I had the opportunity to. And I kind of realised that, well, you know, the surf's amazing, it's a beautiful spot, and like you say, there's a lot of poverty in the town and stuff as well. I kind of realised that, you know, by the time I'd finish work, it'd be dark at 3 o'clock, so I'm not going to get a surf. If I want to go home at the weekend, it's like forever to go home at the weekend. So I'm just wondering what the reality actually is like for you guys.
It's definitely the lifestyle. That's what, like, I came down to be near the surf, like before surf coaching, like I've worked as an outdoor instructor as well, but I wanted to be near the sea. Well, because I grew up by the sea and carry on surfing.
Otherwise, we need a different
Yeah,
sea.
exactly. A different sea. 2 different coastlines here. Yeah, well, exactly.
Yeah,
in the North
clearer.
Sea. But yeah, it was the lifestyle. It was the people. I mean, I have got an amazing group of friends at home, but they're not quite into the adventure that you get down here as well. And it was meeting a lot of women with the like-mindedness as well, and amazing men as well down here who did push me in the surf and in other sports as well. And it carries on like that. And when I go home and sit in the pub with my friends, they complain about stuff, and I'm like, oh God, really concerned about their life. But you realise it's just the north. That's how they talk to each other. They just complain about stuff. And I'm like, oh yeah, there is a bit of a difference as well. And it's so transient, and so many different age groups, walks of life, and I love meeting people. So yeah, I mean, we're all, you see this around this room, we're all very different, but brings it all together as well, surfing.
And you just finish work early. I finish work at 2.
Yeah, fair enough.
Get a couple of hours daylight in the
That's
winter.
it. Talking about barriers to surf, jobs.
There's
such a barrier.
God damn,
They really are.
You missed out. You missed out. I would say you missed out not moving to Newquay.
Yeah.
Because I don't
Everyone
know
moved
if
to
it's
Newquay.
changed. That it's too dark. Well, yeah, too
You just
dark.
did it the other way. You just got a job in a surf resort. And just
Yeah.
surf anytime you want.
That's
at work.
true. That's true.
Yeah.
You said you worked in the surf industry.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
actually how I came to Newquay.
Right.
So I grew up in the Midlands, miles from the sea.
There's a massive surf demographic in the Midlands, though.
There is,
We always seem to be chatting to people from Birmingham.
Yeah. So I was working in Birmingham for O'Neill, in a surf shop there, and running that. I'd come from luxury shoes to O'Neill, and I loved it because I'd grown up around the surf industry anyway. And then Rip Curl contacted me and said they needed somebody to come down and open a store. They needed me. They did. Yes.
Very cool.
So I was poached down to Newquay by Rip Curl, and I was like, yes, get to live by the sea. Always wanted to do it. Always knew that I would end up by the sea one day. A chance to work for a really great brand. So I came down, and I was in the surf industry for quite a while. I loved it.
But
So you were a sponsored surfer.
I was definitely not a sponsored surfer.
But O'Neill was also a fantastic brand.
Because you are sponsored.
Absolutely.
I didn't see that
So I
one.
do actually have a board like that with O'Neill on it at home that's signed, but not one that I could actually ride.
So were you in the...
I knew you were straight
You should see my foamy, the stickers on there.
Yeah. I mean, now I do something completely different. But I'd never leave here. I've met the most incredible group of people here, and it is the lifestyle. Like, it really is. I go back to the Midlands, and I love a city trip. Like, I've just spent the weekend in London. I do love the energy of a big city, but for me, for my well-being, physically, mentally, I have to be by the sea.
You
I
have
really
to be near
do.
sailors.
Absolutely.
Every time I say it.
Every time there's my sailors, it's true.
Yeah, and Newquay's changed so much. I think it's about 16 years ago I first moved down, and it was a ghost town in the winter, which I loved. I loved that everywhere would shut
I
down.
used to come down in January just because it was so quiet.
Absolutely.
Like surfing here and just trying to kill myself every January.
Yeah.
Literally going out. I said to Mitch earlier what it looked like earlier. We came down one January and it was probably the same. The white wall was the same as that, but the waves were probably about 3 times the height. And we were like, yeah, let's go surfing.
It was even colder.
One of the guys went, bloody, you're not having boards, you'll die. So that's all like, stupid naivety, not knowing what we're doing. But that is like we've discussed.
Part of it.
Half the fun of it. Getting the wrong board, getting the wrong equipment, going on the wrong days. And
I like that with club. When they're my first Halloween surf, so in Halloween we used to have a full-on fancy dress, and I hadn't been in the club very long, I don't think then. And I was like, I came.
Was it the windy one?
Yeah. I came in my fancy dress here, and I was like, it seems a bit mad and indie, but okay. And I had my board. I had whole discussions about whether to take the board or whether to swap and get a foamy. And anyway, we went down the water, and Joe was like, right, we're gonna go again now, go, go, go. And I remember walking out thinking, well, this is all a bit mad, but I really, really trust the instructors because I've been to my other sessions, and if they say it's all right, it must be all right. There was boards. Was it a foamy board went flying down the beach? Was it you dressed as a ghost that went running after it? There's just this person in a sheet running after this board down the beach. Anyway, we were in the water, and I remember feeling like Oh, not sure, but went with him, had a great time, and literally as we got out, they red flagged the beach. I was like, I like this club, I think I'm going to stay.
I was in that onesie, I nearly drowned. Do you remember? Lana had to come and pull me out. I was like, "Ow, help me. Cornelia got an amazing wave that day, because it was quite big and messy. She got an amazing one from the club that day.
How many of your club members progressed to getting their own board, smashed it walking down those steps?
Oh God!
I don't know if we've had many.
I haven't surfed my longboard in ages and came one Sunday and was like, I was like, oh no,
You've
got
got to get the angle of the dangle
steps.
right down there, haven't you?
Yeah, baptism of fire. Drop you down.
Yeah, you've got
No,
to
I
plan
won't
that.
risk it. I only ever take my foamy because I'm worried I'm going to smash my longboard up.
I could
Well,
do
you
it,
can
but I
always
always
go
forget
down
how
and
I've done it, and then
Forget.
yeah, and then it was going down again. I was like, oh, hang on a minute, maybe I did this a different way around last time.
And a couple of questions we normally ask, and there's got quite a few here, so we'll see what you come out with. But tell us your best experience or best session or best surf, if you can remember, and your worst wipeout, if you can also remember.
Oh God, I can remember both. Yeah.
Well, I'll go with the Portugal thing.
Yeah.
But probably my worst wipeout was at Tolkien, and it just completely sucked everything back. The whole sand, bloody earth, buildings, the lot. Shut me down, and I just came up. I landed on my ear, the side of my body. That was the end of that. And then just didn't really do anything with the ear situation for a while, and then thought there's grit coming out of my ear. So that was the worst one in Tolkien. Subsequent ear infection. Yeah.
And your
So-
best?
Oh, the whole can you see me now in Portugal? And everyone going yes, whatever. Yeah, that was bad.
Yeah, if you've been with Mitch, you've gone, yeah, I thought it was someone else.
It was the longest wave. It went on and on and on and on and on and on, like I can.
Anyone else?
Nobody saw it.
Who's up next?
I think my best surf was at Towan. It was a sunset, like a summer evening. The sun was setting, the sky was gorgeous. It was really clean. It was perfect size. And I just remember it was one of those moments when you sit out back and you just look around and you feel so insignificant and you're surrounded by nature. And I just remember thinking, yeah, this feels good. I live here.
Yeah, I always say that. We live here.
I felt everything just felt perfect in that moment. I caught some really great waves, and one of the instructors had seen it because she was like, "Wow, that was a bomb!" I was like, "Yes!" And then I remember sitting that back, and this seal popped up, and I was like, "Oh my gosh!" And there's just something about all those things in nature. The sky looked amazing. The sea was incredible. I'd surfed well, and then this seal had just kind of completed it all. I was just like, this is awesome. So that was my best one. And my worst one that I think is ingrained on my brain was I went with a friend down to North Fistral, and I don't normally surf there because it terrifies me. But she was like, let's go, and I was like, yeah, let's go, okay. And it was a really, really hard paddle out. And I finally got out back, and it was one of those when you get out back and I'm like, I'm just going to
I need a minute.
sit out here until I got my breath back, and sat there for ages till I felt like I could breathe again. And there was a wave and I was like, I'm going for it. And I didn't get it, and it just smashed me. And it was one of those where when you come up, just as you take a breath, the next one lands on your head. And I basically got battered by every single wave all the way back to the beach. And my friend was still in the white water, hadn't made it back. I went, I'm just going to hang out here with you now. It was that relentless way you just think, come on, just give me a chance before the next one hits it. It was, it's relentless. So that they stay in my brain.
Oh, I can't remember. Like, I've had so many amazing ones, which are quite lucky, and surfing at club as well. I get really excited surfing with everyone out there. Yeah, exactly. One of my worst ones. It was when I was still little. I think it was early 20s, and I was so hungover. I can't actually remember where I was. Exactly. I love my story stuff. I was really drunk. I was really hungover, and. It was solid for a learner, for a beginner. It was like one of those days where it's beautiful and clean, and you're just pushing yourself to go out. So it was solid for me. And I took a wave, beautiful, wiped out on it, and then got cramp in every single limb. And just lay like starfish in the impact zone. I just couldn't move. As these rollers were just coming in, I was just getting pounded. I just had to hold my breath until all this cramp stopped. And I'll always remember what that was like. So I've always drank water and ate loads of salt before I go surfing.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Very we were surfing the other day, and there's like the last wave of the set, and I got up and he got up next to me, and normally his power and fitness is much better than mine, and he'll get away with it, I'll miss it. And I got it, and I was like, I'm not getting off it because I don't want it. And as I tried to get up, the back of my glove was half, like half up, half down the crab. And I'm going, fuck off, Mitch! I can hear him laughing next to me. I'm trying to get up. I managed to get to my feet in the end, but I don't know how to finish it. He just said he just saw me pull away from him. I was like, that'll do, that's all.
It's a lost time, and there's nothing you can do about it, is there?
I'm wondering whether or not Ferry was the one that invented the dead cockroach.
Oh, that was either me or Al, definitely.
And who's not gave us the worst?
I was trying to think. There are lots of worst.
Yeah.
But there was one on. So with club, when the conditions are bigger over the winter, we do trips for the weekend to somewhere else where the conditions are slightly smaller, and do video analysis. And I was on one of the first ones, and it was Watergate, and I don't even really remember what was happening or what was doing. All I remember was the nose of my board literally went right there, and I was like that, and I couldn't move, and in my head it hurt so much I had blood spurting out everywhere. But I went onto the beach, but then you're in a wetsuit, so I was like trying to sort of see whether I was fine, but I literally thought
God,
literally right in the groin.
You've got to check yourself to see if you're bleeding.
I was like,
Get a good bruise though.
Yeah. And the best one, I don't know if it's just because I'm a positive person and I'm like, oh my god, I'm just so lucky to be here, whether I get waves or not. There's so many. Spotting dolphins at Watergate. Being at Morganporth when it was one of the super moons and it was like really orangey red and the sun was setting at the same time. But I'd say the best one was Sunday, South Fistral here, where I actually did some of the techniques that Alan had taught me.
Awesome.
And it was seen actually as well. It was seen, so it's even better.
Oh, it's such a good feeling when it clicks though, and you're like, oh,
that was really good. I was like, yes, okay,
Then
want
you
to do it
go
again
into
and
the next
again.
session and you're 15 steps back.
Yeah, exactly.
Sunset session or sunrise session? What would you prefer?
Sunrise, probably.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
No sunset. No sunrise.
Not morning
I
person.
know, I like that.
Sunrise.
I'm with you, yeah.
Sunrise, because I'm a
like
morning
sunrise.
person and there are less people.
I like that.
Yeah.
I'm with you on that point, but I love a sleep.
Yeah.
I can't appreciate a sunrise. I'm too busy sleeping.
Oh, but then I always think you have to go home and make your dinner, and it's such a faff. I know it's so bad, but.
What about yourself?
Probably the worst, but it was kind of funny worst. But it was at club, and it was one of the bigger days. But I had managed to get out, and you know when you're like, yes, I'm out here. Okay, now I'm not going to move. And I caught a wave in. I was like, no, I caught one wave in. I thought, yeah, it's great, and I was up and riding, fine, lovely. And then and it was like. It wasn't like anything special, but it was fun. And then the next one I caught, and I was like, I was paddling for it, and I thought, yes. And I was like, and I could see Martha, and I just remember seeing Martha, and she was like so happy that I'd caught this wave. So Martha, one of the instructors. And then suddenly I just like nosedived, and I completely fucked up. And then I was like not coming up for about, when you think it's like a minute, but it's actually like 10 seconds. And then I pop up, and I'm right next to Martha, and she's like, that was sick. I was like, yes, I'm going to be sick.
And, what advice would you give anyone that hasn't yet discovered surfing, or they're thinking about trying surfing, maybe they're in this area, they want to get involved? What would you give somebody, something you wish you had been told maybe a little bit earlier?
Come to Newquay's Women's Surf Club.
Yeah, definitely. It's the best thing I've done for my surfing and for like camaraderie as well, and improvement, confidence, like just actually making you go out there as well, because like so often you can just be like, no, actually I can't be bothered now, or you know, but you're booked in, you've like paid your £8 or whatever once you paid your membership, and then it makes you go there, and then you've told your friends, oh yeah, I'll see you next week. You told everyone there, and then so you think, yeah, we'll see them next week. And
But
and
also the teaching and the knowledge of the tutors, because there are so many surf schools that will push the board so that you get up, because that's what you got to do. And heard rumours about surf instructors that will come down and just do a season, and they can not do very much on the board necessarily themselves. So
oh god,
go
yeah,
to
they're
the
great.
Newquay Surf Club because
Name and shade.
Don't say me. The complete opposite.
And you do a little land lesson first of all, and like check the conditions and stuff. Like safety it makes you feel safer when you're because you get a bit more knowledge each time. Yeah. Because of the instructors.
I think the frightening thing is there's a hell of a lot of stuff that you just don't know.
It's true.
And that's the frightening thing. And from a safety perspective, I think to go to a club, even if you go to the club, you get on with it really quickly, you progress through and you pop out the other side as this fully formed surfer, you do your own thing then. Cornelia. You've got to see her, she's beautiful. I think that there is just from the safety point of view, I think I've covered that. It's reassuring.
Yeah.
You haven't got to try and think about it. You haven't got to try and do all the research yourself. You aren't going to get some really bad habits or just shit information. It's a club
that's
specifically
true.
for you. Yeah. 5 years. Over 5 years you've been going, haven't you? I've been listening.
Oh yeah, big fan.
But you see,
that's why my surfing hasn't progressed. I've been listening to it. No.
What I used to do though, I will tell you, what I used to do was just to put it on so I would go to sleep.
It does not.
I'm serious.
A lot of people said that about my voice over the years.
But every now and then you'll wake up and it's like, well, who's that talking now? Oh, they're having another go at each other. Oh no. Who's lost what? You started hello. And then the music kicks in.
One day you'll wake up and I'll just be like that. Hello.
I've gone too far on the podcast, haven't I?
You just say where you live now. You have just said.
Yeah.
And if people want to find the group, how can they find you and how can they get in contact and get involved?
Instagram, Facebook, website.
All the things. Newquay Women's Surf Club.
Yeah, I was going to say you literally put that in.
All the things. Newquay Women's Surf Club. You can put CIC as well if you want.
But literally, Newquay Women's Surf, it comes up, I think.
Yeah, I think even just Newquay Surf Club.
Same on Instagram as well, isn't it?
And then there'll be different email addresses that you can find on the website and all that. The website's being updated. That's going to get
you can book online
very soon. Book online.
Open day on the 28th of September.
Yeah.
Yes. Sunday the 28th.
Free session. Come and give surfing a go.
Got to sign up to it though. You can't just pitch up.
Two questions that made me think of for this is who is the best instructor, who's the most annoying member?
Yes.
Why did they
got stitched up again?
I'm only joking.
Oh, I want to hear it.
We'll wait till we tell them.
Oh, it's tough actually.
I think all our instructors are
the best. They are the best.
No, but I do genuinely think we're so lucky because the instructors are amazing. We've got such a great group of instructors.
And there's a constant.
Yeah,
to them
that's
as well.
it. They care. They care.
Remember when we broke Newquay Women's Surf?
Yeah, completely. You're quick. Well, I will say though, from working with so many different coaches, I mean, it's been amazing for me, like meeting so many female coaches. When I first started, it was quite a small group, and you kind of knew everyone. And now there's loads of new faces coming. It's brilliant, but we all coach in a very different way because we've all picked stuff up from where we've coached, or if we've travelled and coached with other people. That if you're not learning something from somebody, another person will explain it in such a different way as well. And I think that's
that's
really
true.
helps.
Yeah.
We've all got different disciplines that we do as well. I love a foamy, Jen's a longboarder. Cornelia, she loves a shortboard as well. I will go back to saying a piece of advice actually. I was going to say, what I would tell people who haven't surfed is don't put your self-worth on surfing, because we've had that conversation as coaches, female coaches, because you can get so in love with this sport and make it into a whole relationship, which can be quite abusive as well. Because if you have a bad surf, that can be your day ruined. I mean, you'll know that, and you'll be like, oh God, I'm so shit, I'm such a terrible person. Like, I still do it now as a surf coach. I'm like, oh God, if anyone saw that, you know, Surfing England, just take my stuff away, because I'm not gonna, I can't do this anymore.
I bought that transporter for
Yeah,
nothing.
exactly. Well, I'm gonna, this new board, I've spent all this money on a sport I can't even do. But then when you have the best days, they're so good. But actually, if you just remember, it is a sport. Like, you are just.
It's a trap.
It's like a healthy drug addict.
Exactly.
Surfing's a trap. It really is. Like, my advice would be don't get into
Yeah,
it.
well, that's what I was going to say. I was going to shout
Avoid
joke,
it.
and then
Avoid it.
But
we want
just
less people on the waves, I
remember,
suppose.
exactly. Just remember, it is supposed to be fun, and as soon as it stops being fun, get out of the water.
Yeah.
Because,
I like that. I like watching like the WSL and stuff. If you watch the pros when they're not getting the waves, then I'm like, oh, see, not everyone's getting waves all the time. Even the professionals wipe out. It's okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's been absolutely fantastic talking to you all, and your club sounds amazing. And to be honest, I want to join. But
We can make you an honorary member.
Yeah.
We can
that's
do
all right,
that.
I can tuck.
Oh my God! Yeah, there we go. That's who needs to organise. You can do that one, Joey.
Okay.
Halloween.
What? I can't top that.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah.
You didn't say half the words you said before.
Yeah.
Oh,
You said it.
And I know she hasn't moved in the chair either. So.
yeah. Do you know why?
What need we?
No.
Oh, no.
No, it did a fart noise. I look forward really happily to have a little bit of cider.
The chairs go up if you move.
Oh, do they?
Just I don't think it was the chair. It hasn't done it since.
It was a 15-minute conversation about it.
It was.
I miss so much.
Oh, it was good. Yeah.
No.
I think that is a great place.
No. No, I want to add Pete's question that he stole from someone else from the podcast.
Still that.
Go.
Yeah. What haven't we asked you that we should have?
Oh.
Ba-ba-bam.
There's one bit of the club that I think is quite unique, as far as I'm aware, that we haven't mentioned, which is because we're a CIC, we fund some of the little ladies' places.
Yes, you're
so
right.
that they are fully funded, and we make sure that they can get in the water, so that money's not a barrier for them, and equipment.
Amazing.
Yeah, and I don't think there's many that do that, and that's something that we've sort of raised money for, haven't we, through the crowdfunder that we ran, to make sure that we could keep doing that, to ensure that any little girl that wants to learn to surf can do it with us.
Yeah.
Good on you.
Nice. Well, I think that's a much more respectable place to end it, isn't it?
Very much so.
Well, cheers for that, guys. Pete, that was a handful, shall we say?
Yeah, that was that. I think is that the most we've recorded now in one.
Yeah, I think that was the biggest group we've had.
Yeah,
yeah.
I think it's just the more people you record, the more problems occur of like what can go wrong and what extra checks you've got to put in place. And I mean, we are not the best at running through a checklist of going, right, is everything working, is everything recording? As people who regularly listen to this podcast will know, we often fuck things up.
Yeah, it's true. It's true, but also shows we're human. I'm sure we have enough example of showing we're human anyway without adding extra layers. It's frustrating all the same. Because there's elements where when the sound's rubbish, it just takes something away. So I apologise to anybody up front that's been listening, and that first 10 minutes or 14 minutes, as Pete called it, was pretty frustrating. But it is what it is, and we'll learn from it. We now put bits in place to make sure we don't do it again. We'll probably do it again, but at least we've had that conversation. This kind of sums us up.
I was going to say we know we shouldn't do it again, but we'll probably do it again anyway, because we've got one coming up where actually that was before, which is a nightmare, but we'll get into that when we get to it. So that was super fun though. I mean, the club itself is absolutely awesome. Like, you get, I think it's £25 for the year of membership for women and girls, and you get all sorts. You get surf theory, you get discounted surf club rates, discounted local stores, book club, private surf lessons, insurance for clubs, activities. You get a
That's
t-shirt's
true.
the best thing. Well, we didn't get an honorary t-shirt. Well, I think we should have got an honorary t-shirt, you know.
Well, you want to be cutting about in
I
a
like
Newquay women's surf t-shirt club?
Yeah?
Yeah, fair enough. All right.
Yeah.
Why not?
Why
Be
not?
part of the club now.
Yeah.
Honorary member.
Yeah. But no, it was really good fun. I mean, we had it's such a group of like women, like of like all sorts of walks. And I mean, there's like, I know Joey was the main one that like contacted us first of all with her, as she would say, very abrupt message that I got first of all, which was basically along the lines of, "Oi, have us on the show."
That,
Yeah. And then I think Louisa texted afterwards and said that she does that thing like where you can, like I was telling you about the other day, she like marries people while they're surfing or like on surfboards.
Yeah.
And I told you about that, and I was like, yeah, I think Claire does something to do with the Board Mums Club as well. And obviously there was Bruce Dog and Ziggy Dog that were there. So, you know.
Definitely must be the biggest group we've had on, like, no question. I don't think we've had numbers like that for sure. But it was cool that, you know, when we met, because I was thinking, this was ages ago, we filmed that, and I was actually just thinking that, it was super warm then. It was a completely different time, and it was summer, but actually that was a howling windy day, if I remember right.
Oh, mate, it's awful. And the girls had just been out, and you and me were looking at it and going, no. And then there's like all these young girls on the young girls club, like, yeah.
No, it was super fun, and it raised a lot of points. You know, we speak about this often, but we more speak about it with guests prior to us trying to bimble and fumble our way through conversations about, you know, it's hard to not feel like when giving your opinion when it comes to women in the lineup, even if your opinion's valid, it's easy just to feel like you're going into a minefield. So we always kind of bimble our way through it, but they were so open. And actually, it kind of seems like that all the time. We've kind of inherited or generated this problem that maybe doesn't exist, or maybe we've just been with the right people that aren't bothered by Pete's opinions.
What do you mean my opinion? It's your opinion. It's always your opinion. Yeah. No, I mean, it is true what you say. Like, we always, you know, we've done it multiple times where we've bimbled through and like tried to say or tried to get a point across and tried not to be offended or whatever it is. But I think some of the times it's just better just to ask the question and then get the answer, and you know what, you know, you say, I think is this right? And they seem to navigate that really well of all the questions we had. And, you know, like we say, like the perceived barriers to actual barriers of what they are. And I think it went really well. And I honestly, I really liked hanging out with them. As I say, they were a really fun group of girls, and I want there to be something like that, but for a men's surf club where it's that sort of thing where you can have a membership and you can go on road trips with each other, and, you know, not like, I know there's clubs that are just based around like drinking and stuff like that and just like going out and having a good time, but like an actual surf club that is, you know, for guys as well. It'd be wicked. And I'm that's not trying to take anything away from what they do, because they've built up this women's surf club and it's needed, and it's proved to be needed by the pure amount of members that they've got there.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
And there was something that I think it was Kate said that it super resonated with me. In fact, I was thinking about it earlier, and she was talking about, and obviously everyone's journey is different, right? So just because it's a barrier for you doesn't make it a barrier for the next person, and so on and so forth. But you know, she was chatting about her dad had tried to get her surfing like pretty much all her sort of young life.
So when you say Kate, you mean Claire, yeah?
Claire. Her dad had tried to get her into surfing her whole life, and she had all these reasons in her head not to do it. And it was only when her dad passed that she thought for him she wanted to get into it, you know, and she did, and actually realised later in life that all the barriers that she had put in place, they weren't actual barriers. It was just things she'd built up. And I just think, you know, there's probably a metaphor in there entirely, but she also coupled that with a really good point that, you know, am I regretful I didn't start surfing earlier? Yeah, maybe. But at the same time, there's no point living in the past of what could have been. Like, she's enjoying it now, which is super cool. So yeah, you're right. It is such a super cool club. It was mega fun. It was absolute bants. It was funny as well because before we hit record or didn't hit record, whichever it was in the episode, like the room was just full of banter. It was madness. And as soon as we actually started the episode, I don't know, it just suddenly went really corporate and really serious for a bit. It was like everything changed.
How many times have we had that though, where you're chatting with someone before, and I know people often say to us it's really good because we make them feel really at ease and everything like that, and they're like, we've had a few people have said this has been the most fun I've had on a podcast. It didn't even feel like we were doing a podcast. It's because we're shit. It was because like we've had that thing, but it was so like we were. I don't know. It seemed extreme because there were so many of us there laughing and joking, and I went ready, and it was just like whoom. Like that, and then it took a little bit for people to start warming up again, but it doesn't take long to get back into it, and it's a couple of times that's happened with different people as well. As soon as you press record, it's like, like you get like someone's like talking, laughing, and joking, and then you switch the microphone on, and you get one-word answers. Okay, but that I think that's the point. That's our job to like keep it going and keep bringing things out of it, and I think we have a laugh.
But that's why I think it works for us. That somebody asked me the other day, somebody else that's trying to start up a podcast, and they were like, "So how much time do you spend researching guests?" And I was like, "Researching guests." I was like, but we don't, right? And that shouldn't be a surprise to anyone. So I'm sure we've spoken about this before, but the reason we don't is because we are more likely to ask a question that you, the listener, are thinking based on the conversation in the moment if we go on the same learning journey as you. And also, it's just an absolute bonus that it means we don't have to do anything prior to turning up.
Like, I've seen and listened to podcasts and interviews before, and you get, even on the radio, and there was a radio presenter years ago, and I can't remember who it was, but basically there was someone on there going, it was along the lines of, my dad died, and then my dog died, and then my fish died, and my cat died, and my wife died, and everyone had died, and I was all on my own, and I didn't want to live anymore. And the presenter just went, anyway, and just carried on like they had set questions. And I think
you're always trying to get back to that.
Yeah, and I think we've got a few set questions, that we have like best wave, worst wave, and, stuff like that, and a couple of other bits and pieces. But really, we just like to chat. And like you and me, we chat shit all the time. Like we have conversations like, you'll ring me, I'm on my way home from work or something like that, and you'll ring me in your van, and we'll be on the phone for an hour just talking absolute bollocks, get nothing sorted of what we actually say we're going to do. And then next time we have the conversation, it's a surprise we even managed to get an episode out at all.
But listen, for that hour where we're chatting shit and planning, we come up with the best ideas. Yes,
mate,
they never come to fruition because we forget about them immediately after the call. But for that hour, I mean, it's a spectacle.
What we need is someone else on the call with us that like jots the ideas down, and we can go back to them.
Oh, definitely, yeah. Like,
because I'd say we could record it and go back to it, but neither of us would go and listen to it either. Like it's like podcasts. People said to me before, "Do you ever listen to the podcast after you've?" I'm like, no. I used to when it first started, and like listen to it back when I like put it out live and stuff like that. Now I'm like that. No, it's done. Next, move on to the next one. Move on to the next one.
Yeah.
This one it's an exception. Obviously, I'll listen to this one again, but no, not normally.
No, I don't listen to podcasts at all, to be fair. So, we don't want to drag this on too long because we know this was a long episode. So, what have you been up to, Peter? Have you managed to get any surfing in since the first episode back?
What did I do? No, I went back surfing with Leighton, didn't I? And no, I was going to go to Bristol today, but I couldn't. I had other stuff to do, and my next surf is booked for Friday, which would have I'd have been. So by the time this came out, I had an amazing surf Friday actually at the Wave in Bristol. Yeah, it was awesome.
Or say the other one, say the other version of how your surf might have gone.
I had a shit surf at the Wave, which is more than likely. I had a shit surf at the Wave.
Never going back.
But no, so that's Friday's my next surf booked in. I mean, it's been like, I know you haven't had any surf at all, so there's no point talking about your surfing, but it's been like either biblical down here or unsurfable. There's been a few days that have been good, but and I've been working in the centre of Bristol where to get to the job I've got to park in a car park and walk across Bristol to get to the job at the moment. So it's just Don't want to talk about it. Let's move on.
Good. Well, I mean, who knew? And I don't mind naming it now because I'm moving. Like, I don't mind blowing it up. It's on Surfline now anyway. But who knew that Kirkcaldy would be the most consistent surf spot in all of the UK for the entirety of 2026 and still counting? It's actually been mental.
I like the fact you say you don't mind naming it now. Yeah. More or less every episode, you say where you're from and you say there's surf on your doorstep. So you've named it.
Mitch. I live in Kirkcaldy and there's surf on my doorstep. Yeah, that's exactly what I say. No, but I'm sometimes like on the perfect days, like I probably won't post about it, or I won't. If I do, I'll make sure I don't film with any sort of landmarks in and stuff like that, because I don't. I'll talk about how good it can be, but I don't want people to see how good it can be. Like it's a flock here. But now that I'm shifting on, I don't mind so much. So I've been doing like almost daily reports actually, which has been nuts. And I have surfed almost every day since.
Have you had more surfers come there?
Yes, yeah. I know some people that have come and surfed here from all around Scotland that haven't surfed anywhere. Yeah. So, I mean, they're not reaching out and going, I came here because of your video. I fucking know you have, though. I know you have. But at the same time, I say it all the time, I'll go out there and surf myself, and there's just something pleasant about when there's other people in the water with you, especially when it's like it is. And to clarify, we've had huge easterly swells since the end of December. It's been non-stop. In fact, the harbour wall's fallen down. It's been nuts. But there's been a lot of onshore wind, and actually, for the most part, the reason we get these easterly swells is because there's easterly winds. And you get these breaks and gaps in the winds, and it can just be fucking bliss. It can be so good. Yeah. So I've had some days that were fantastic. I think last Sunday you might have seen like the night surf that I'd had. Like the moon was insane as well. Like that was just spectacular. That was the last clean day I've had. And I'm talking howling wind, like howling onshore wind. But the swell is also so big that when you get onto a wave, there's just no wind because the wave's fucking gigantic. And there's been days I've paddled out, and I probably shouldn't have in terms of, was I going to catch a wave? I don't know. But I wanted to give it a go, but it kind of tested my own progression again, like paddled out. There was days where all I'd done for an hour, 20 minutes was paddle out and duck dive and paddle and duck dive and never caught a single wave. Today, though, I was actually away in Paisley doing some work with veterans for veterans, which was pretty fun. And I got back and I wasn't expecting, well, I knew there'd be surf because it's Kirkcaldy. It's like Wave Garden Kirkcaldy here right now. But I thought the wind was going to be howling. And I'd looked on my surf cam, my Ring doorbell on the window, and it was glassy. I was like, what? And so I shot my way back really quickly, came up, grabbed my kit, went back down, and was nice and not, I guess, in terms of it was glass and it was big and it was like, duck dive or die moments. It was me and one other guy out. Andy Jameson had just got out, your favourite paddleboarder. Don't know if you want to insult him anymore, even though you've never met.
Get it back.
He just got out and paddled out, and honestly it was ridiculous bombs, but the size probably isn't any bigger than it's been necessarily while it's been howling onshore. It's just obviously you're not getting like a bomb followed by a bomb followed by a bomb. They're like 12 seconds apart or whatever it is, so they have more power in them, so it was a bit harder to commit on them. But so it was super fun, and it's continuing, so let's see what's gonna keep happening here, and then I'll move, so that'll be the end of it.
Do you know what? You've had so much good surf. I'm glad you're moving away from it in a way, because it's starting to piss me off.
Good. No, I'm glad.
Plus, also, I like to see that you're now really leaning into that snake wrangler look, like with the hair and the moustache.
I'm just out the shower, like
you say shower.
I want it to be clean for the listeners.
Like where it's starting to stick to your head, where you get proper snake owner and everything.
No, but when it's wet, that's why. When it dries, it will like puff up a bit. It's been great. Yeah,
that's cool.
Keep surfing, enjoying it, and the water's fucking minging, absolutely minging. I don't know if you saw the video I posted of the wave battering the sea wall, and it was like nuclear as it hit the wall. It was
I did see that.
Flat. It was washed all the cars going past on the roads. So yeah, man. Again, just a wee reminder to stay safe to people. Another public service. Go and do it, Pete. Do it.
Your public service announcement. No,
Yeah,
your public service announcement.
No, but it is because tonight somebody did get washed out to sea down at the next harbour. When we were surfing, the lifeboats appeared right beside us. Well, not right beside us because they would have got absolutely smoked if they did, but they came along, and then I think the bigger boat was out as well, and then the helicopter was buzzing about. So I've seen on Facebook that somebody actually got swept out. So hopefully they found the person. But again, just a reminder, man, like it just takes one wave and you're gone. Like these people you see holding their kids on the sort of wall on the harbour and whatever.
Well, you said the other day you were walking, you were looking out the window, and there was like a group of people, and all of a sudden they just absolutely wave come over and just got them.
Okay.
No, you were saying to me that, like the other day that the.
Oh right, sorry, yeah, it was people just taking photos, and they were getting soaked, but it wasn't like quite full tide as it would have. Like if they got hit by the thing that hit the wall the other day, they would have got discombobulated. Totally.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Anyway, I think we need to be wrapping this up.
Yeah, we should, and we should probably stick a word from our sponsors, TIKI, in there as well. So,
hey guys, Rosie here again, back at TIKI. Just wanted to let you know that we've had new drops of Rip Curl, O'Neill, and also we've got our all new range of Parlay over here, which is also selling online. We also have our new TIKI surf skates knocking about over here. We've got the Parrot Twin, Nomad, the Drifter, and the Totem, all of which named after our custom surfboard. We're still using our code UK Surfpod 25 for 10% off everything but hardware, and UK Surf Shit for free shipping. Thank you.
Well, cheers for that, Rosie. Thanks for the discount codes and the TIKI updates. And Rosie will be back appearing more on the show, doing more discounts and updates and all stuff TIKI.
She certainly will. And if you want to get 15% off at Lost Shore, if you want to come and try our new Turns to Tubes setting, which is now live, use the discount code UK Surf Show 15, and that will get you 15% off surf and accommodation.
And should you also say that if you can ride turns at Lost Shore, maybe you shouldn't go to Turns and Tubes?
Well, you haven't seen any of the content yet, so you don't know what it said. You should always read the descriptor. That's why it's there.
Yeah. It's quite gnarly, isn't it?
Yeah, well, I won't be on it.
Yeah, well, that and Quiksilver Clothing, UK Surf Show 10, that will get you 10% off anything from Quiksilver Clothing, and that is it, I think. Anything else you want to add to the show today?
Go check out Newquay Women's Surf Club and give them a follow. Go get involved if you need to, want to. Or have some time to give back to them.
Cheers, thanks for coming on, girls, and it was a pleasure, and we will see you all next time with episode 150. And what are we doing? Should we mention that? What are we doing about that? Are we doing anything special for episode 150, or we're just going to put the normal episode out?
Let's just wrap this up, because we don't know what we're doing, and people want to get back to their beds and their daily lives.
Yeah, or as if I think, was it Joey on this one that said sometimes she falls asleep listening to us and she wakes up with me in her ear? There's worse things to wake up with in your ear than I'll carry on talking. Mitch is gone, but I'm going to carry on talking. But anyway, see you later.